I just wanted to say that as for this little moment, I decided to come on here and show you all another cat carving. I would like to mention about those ones that you've probably seen before in the walnut that I carved before. I've sold several of those. I think I probably made 6 or 8 to begin with, and I've sold so many that I'm down now to just 2. And I've got a couple of blanks of Kentucky coffee tree that I cut out months ago from which to carve some more. You can see I've already taken the gouge and cut out that line where the back legs are, and there's going to be just a little more to show as far as just how this is going to come along. And if you remember when I did the video where I was carving the walnut ones, I kind of was probably a little less experienced doing a hard wood, carving in front of the camera, and ended up having the blade go through my thumb guard, giving myself a little nick on the thumb. I'd say that since I finally got on here this time around, I've got a little more to show, and hopefully this time I can kind of show it a little more adequately without doing that. But here's one thing we're going to do. You see where we cut that line out? We're going to kind of cut down the center a little bit, kind of make it so it's going to come out with a little triangle in the end that we're going to cut out to make it so it's going to be what the kitty's going to be. And I'd say it's just kind of like little lines we put in here. I'd say try to cut the triangle in, and that's what separates the tummy from the hind legs. Now, this is the way what we've done here to put that little place in. We're going to do the same on this one as well. Try to carve a little space in there. And I'd say I'm hoping that I'm getting so much better at doing this, making it so it's all going to turn out for the better, and you know, probably to the point where it gets a little easier to do on a camera. I think I might take care of that same little step on this other one too, but I do want to warn you that walnut and Kentucky coffee tree are both very hard woods. I've learned how to use a glove on one hand and a thumb protector on the other, and just from watching around. And it used to be that I wore a pair of gloves, a glove on each hand, but of course that was a little too inconvenient and cumbersome, and sometimes I'd only have my glove on my right hand, and sometimes realize it's mainly important to have it on your left and to have a thumb protector on your right. So after I kind of saw a certain guy doing that who was just starting to carve like I was, that was when I realized that was the thing to do. But there'd be times I'd be in guild even without a glove or a thumb guard or anything on, and sometimes, one time I was carving some walnut and they made mention of that to me. They said that you need to be wearing your gloves, especially with a hard wood. And one day I was also carving some Kentucky coffee tree in there, and they kind of mentioned the same thing, that I was only wearing one glove, and that was kind of how it was going to go. And another time I had my glove out but not my thumb protector, and they asked me, of course, where my thumb protector was. They were real protective of me out there because they'd seen me get so many cuts and so many damages from all the carving I did over time. Learned a lot of stuff the hard way about wearing gloves. I'll tell you, the very first day I went to the guild, the very first time I carved, didn't have a glove on, but I had a thumb protector on, and saw a gouge on the table. Wasn't aware how sharp a gouge really was, just saw how it dug into the wood, so picked it up, tried to dig a little out with it, and cut myself right about here. ended up getting a scar in there and ended up getting stitches in that. So there's just been a lot of lessons to learn, and of course I also learned about carving towards my leg as well. You know, to carve on a tabletop or at least have a pan over your lap like I do now. So that's just among the things I've done. I've had stitches in my leg before from a cut as well. Finally, we're getting these little lines out of the kitty cat, and so making it so it's going to be just like this on each side. Finally, there's a little work we do. There's a place where we sort of want to carve in the 2 feet on the sides. Take care of this little matter just as it is, and we're going to make the same cut along this side as well. You might have to do it forward in this case, because it's kind of a little bit more in a slightly different direction of the wood, so we take care of little steps like that. Might take more than one video to do this, depending on what we do. And there's a little place where we're going to do the front feet of this little kitty too. Make it so that we kind of work ourselves into the wood, make little dents and all. Oh, and see how it's gonna make it all come out so much better for us. And carving little flat planes into it. Certain little steps to come along next. We're going to try to carve the side of the leg here. Try to make it so we got little places in here where we're going to try to show the work as it comes along. I say this little type of work shall be able to last us through ages. We kind of got the side here. You can see how we got the planes carved along these little edges here. And as for how we make the paws, it's going to come along next. And you see we got it on this one as well. And I'm here to kind of show you all in the end how it is supposed to look, how it is supposed to turn out when you get all done with it, and finally make it so it shall have the little corners on the lines. Now we're going to make those same little lines here along the chin. Try to work a little more effort into the piece. And in this case, you kind of have to be careful not to cut your forefingers. So that's the way this little work shall come along here. Make a little sign unto you, make you all see a little work that shall brighten your honest days, and come along here, take it along the front as well, just to try to flatten out the little saw marks that are there. We got a little step to take also on this one too. Flatten it out, make the saw marks so they come out even. We're going to take the same little step to carve along this one on the chin and take it so it shall work its way to you and make you see a sign of your work come into the end, and show a little ways as to how it is supposed to come. We might want to take a little more off the paws here to make it so it has its flattened little edges. Gotta go along the feet here. And so as we take these little steps, you're going to note we're going to go a little further along the face now. We're going to take it so we have the lines to come along this way. Make it so we see the face a little brighter and shinier. And as for a little place we got here, we just gotta put this little line along here and make it all shine itself lightly and into a good light. And finally, this is what we're going to come down to. Try to make it so the front of its body shapes along with its head. Kind of make it so it looks more kitty-like. And as we've done here, we're going to work this little piece along as well. Try to take away this excess wood that is closer down by the further part of the face. Try to make the cuts come in just as they ought to be. Make it so we brighten the face of the kitty and see a little light come in. And well, I say we're getting it done just about here. There's a place where we come to take up what we got for the face. Up here around the nose, we're going to carve something here, cut along with this line, get some of this off. Hopefully these caps are turning out better than the last ones did. We're kind of getting them a little better detailed this time around. We're going to chip around to make the front of the nose for this one as well. And for how it's coming out, make it so it sees a very good light to us. We gotta work along the top of the head here as well, going up a little closer towards the ears, and we're going to see how the kitty's going to turn out and make it so it does turn out like it's supposed to be. We're going back again to 15-minute videos here, so after I get this step done, I'm going to stop and try to turn it off and catch a little bit more up later, so I say we've got the work here. It's come along fine. It's making its way to us, and so I see the little kitty's head. You can see the little flat planes all around it. I'm going to stop right here, and perhaps when I get back on, have a few more steps to show. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.